Hey everyone, it's Rob with Passport to the Parks, and today we are here for another Disney Skyliner update. We're going to learn a lot of cool things today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to go to the different resorts where the Skyliner goes. We're going to see the different stations as they're being built. We're going to go to the 2 theme parks where the Skyliner goes. We're going to see those stations as well. We're going to learn a lot of things about how the Skyliner works, how you're going to load and unload. We're going to talk about guests with special needs. We're going to talk about inclement weather and just a lot of other fun, cool stuff. We're going to learn a lot along the way, and I appreciate you coming along with me. If you would first, please check out PassportToTheParks.com. You can find all kinds of cool pictures, videos, articles, all kinds of fun stuff. All my social media is there. I do appreciate when you follow along. And if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing here on YouTube. I really appreciate that a lot. Drop a like, drop some comments. I love talking to you guys, answering questions. So with that being said, let's go have some fun and let's learn some things today. Okay guys, today we are going to start at Disney's Pop Century Resort and the Art of Animation. As you can hear in the background, they are currently doing the construction on the Skyliner Station here, so you might hear some banging. But I always like to start here at the wall, give you a little glimpse of the map and some pictures as far as what the station is going to look like here and what the overall gondola system is going to do. So right down here, you basically have what this station here is going to look like. It sits on a bridge between Art of Animation and Pop Century. It sits on Hourglass Lake, which is really cool that it's going to service both resorts. This is kind of just an overview of what the Skyliner is going to look like going across the lake. It's going to be really beautiful views. You're going to see both sides of the resorts just going over the lake. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait for it. There's the gondolas themselves. Just an overview of what it's going to look like. Don't know if they're actually going to have the characters on the outsides, on the insides, if they're going to be interactive in any way. But it will be pretty cool if they have some sort of interaction or the characters on the outside. We do have a picture of a gondola coming onto property. You can check that out at PassportToTheParks.com. And it is pretty cool. It has a mirrored outside to it, so they may very well put the characters on the outside or have something interactive on the inside. It might be pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Here is the map. This is basically what the gondola system is going to do. Right now we're starting here at Disney's Art of Animation and Pop Century. We are on the bridge, and this is the station we're going to see here in a second being built. So the gondola system is going to travel up north to the Caribbean Beach Resort. There's a couple different options that you're going to have here. You're going to be able to transfer and head over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, or you'll be able to transfer and head up to Disney's Riviera Resort, which is currently being constructed at the north end of the Caribbean Beach. From there you can continue on to a turnstile that's over in the Boardwalk Parking Lot, and we'll take a look at that as well. And you can head all the way up into Epcot, and that will take you into the International Gateway, which is the back side of Epcot back in the countries. So we're going to take a look at all this, but that's just a general overview, give you an idea of where the gondola system is going to go to. We'll get into the inner workings and everything once we start looking at stations. Alright, so we'll start here at the back end of the Skyliner Station here at Pop Century and Art of Animation. Construction crews are currently up there working. They're just doing some work on some of the exterior beams, just to give it that really cool retro look that they have here. We're going to take a look at the station itself. The Skyliner Station is on track to hopefully open towards the spring of 2019. The way they are working and as fast as it's coming along, I wouldn't see that as being a problem. So fingers crossed that's going to be the date that we're looking at. Alright, so here we are on the Pop Century side of the Skyliner Station. And again, you can see the crews are really hard at work. They're building what is going to be the roof area of where the guests are going to load and unload. Basically what you see in the center here is going to be the main workings of the Skyliner system itself. This is where the gondolas are going to come in and leave. So they're going to enter and exit from here. Just a quick overview. These are the Skyliner towers. And this is coming and going from Disney's Caribbean Beach. So that's that gorgeous view that you see that the Skyliner, or the gondolas, are going to be heading out over Hourglass Lake. You're going to see these beautiful views of the Art of Animation and then Disney's Pop Century Resort over here. But basically, there's a cable that runs in between the Caribbean Beach and Disney's Pop Century and Art of Animation. That cable runs into each station, and they run run along what's called a bull wheel. And you can just kind of see it. It's a very big red wheel that's underneath here. And that is kind of what powers the cable to spin around. So as the cable comes into the station and as the gondolas come into the station, each gondola has basically a clamp on the top. So what it does is it clamps to the cable, and the cable is moving along at a certain speed. I'm assuming it's probably going to move between 10 and 12 miles an hour. So it's going to be fairly quick, especially when you're moving through the air. So as the cable and the gondola enters into the system, or into the station, it's going to come and it's going to have a release. So when it enters the station, that clamp is going to release, and then the wheels that you see all the wheels on the inside. Let me zoom in here so you can kind of see them. The wheels will basically take the gondola then and move it along at a slower pace inside the station. So that's when the guests can load and unload. So the cable is going to constantly be moving at the same speed. It's always going to be moving at a fast speed. But the gondola system will release as it enters the station, move along at a slower pace on the wheels, then the guests can basically just load and unload. Kind of like how the people mover would work. It'll just be a slow-moving process. You'll get inside the gondola. Once you're inside, it'll shut the doors, and it'll slowly make a turn, and it'll turn back around, and you'll head out again through the wheels. And as soon as you have a major turn, it's going to start accelerating again up to the same speed as the cable. It'll reclamp. Let me do my reclamp. Grab onto the cable again, and you'll come out back onto the Skyliner towers and head to your destination. So that's the general idea of how it works. You're going to move at a certain speed on the cable. Once you enter the Skyliner station, clamp releases, you move at a slower speed determined by the wheels inside, load and unload, and then reclamp as you exit the station to continue on your journey. Now, one of the good things is that Disney is very concerned, obviously, with people with special needs, meaning if you have a scooter or a wheelchair, how are you going to get on the gondola system? You may need a little extra time and a little extra support to do that. So the stations are equipped with a secondary loading and unloading station. So basically the front half here is going to be your normal loading. So normal guests will load right in the front here. Then there's a secondary system that's towards the back. And the gondola, if a special gondola is needed, it'll release from the normal track. It'll move to the secondary area back here, where you can have a very slower process or completely stop the gondola itself in order to load scooters and wheelchairs. Then again, once the timing is correct, that gondola would then re-enter the system, back onto the wheels, get back up to speed, reclamp onto the cable, and move along just as normal passengers would. So it's going to be a very, very intricate process. They're going to have enough space in between each gondola. It's going to be determined, how much space in between each gondola is needed in order to make this process run smoothly. But it's going to be a fun process. It's going to be really neat to see once it's in operation. So I'm really excited for that. But right now, we are just definitely looking at some progress. This is awesome here. They're doing a great job. We're going to head over to the other side as well, take a look from the Art of Animation side. But this definitely gives you a great idea. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see some of these towers. That's just going to be a gorgeous view going over the lake. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to ride it. All right, so now we are on the Art of Animation side. You can see it's going to be very similar over here. They're going to have, again, the overhang where the passengers are going to load and unload. Basically, coming in on this side, on the right side, you're probably going to be coming in. You'd come in and you would exit the vehicle here, and most likely you would make your turn on the bull wheel, and then load and go out on the opposite side. So you're going to be exiting on the Pop Century side. And you can see again, this is where you would release, where the clamp on the gondola would release from the cable. You'd come in, you can see the wheels again on this side. It's going to slow you down to a very slow speed, so you'd be able to exit and enter the gondola. You would transfer if needed. The gondola would transfer to the back section to where you could load and unload passengers with special needs. And then you would be able to re-enter. The wheels would bring you back up to speed. Again, the gondola would clamp back onto the cable, and you are going to head out for this gorgeous view. over Hourglass Lake. So here's that beautiful view that you're going to have as you're riding your gondola out over Hourglass Lake, over these towers. You're going to see Pop Century, Art of Animation on either side, and you are just going to head through those trees down to the Caribbean Beach Resort, and that's where we are heading now. Okay everyone, we are here at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, and behind me is the largest of all the gondola stations being built. It's a very important station. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. Okay, so just to give you an idea, we were coming from Disney's Art of Animation and Pop Century. We were coming through those trees down there, and we're going to head down these towers, and it comes right into the Caribbean Beach Station. And we can see how massive this station is. There's a lot going on here. So we're going to start over on the left here. And this is the portion that's dealing with Art of Animation and Pop Century. So there's three separate lines that are going to be running through here. You have the Art of Animation Pop Century line. Right in the center, you have the Hollywood Studios line. And then on this side, you have the Riviera Resort and Epcot line. So we're going to start over here with Pop Century and Art of Animation. So you're coming from the resort, or you're going to be going to the resort. It's going to be the same process. The gondolas are going to be coming in through the towers. As they're coming in, they have that clamp that's on the cable. The cable is moving at a certain speed, a fairly quick speed. And as it enters, that clamp is going to release. You're going to come through, and the wheels are going to take you at a slower pace through the station. Same thing, you're going to unload, or you're going to load. You're going to make a turn. There's a big bowl wheel in there, just a huge engines running these bowl wheels. This is where most of the power is going to be from. You're going to have the large engines running these bowl wheels in here. So as these bowl wheels are turning, the gondola system, as you unload, would turn, or you load. You know, on this side, you would turn through the bowl wheel and then head back out to Art of Animation and Pop Century. Now there is a secondary loading and unloading station in the back. So you have your normal section up here for regular guests, and then you have your guests with special needs, scooters and wheelchairs. We'll have a secondary track in the back if needed, where they can totally stop the gondola or slow it down at a slower pace. So we move over to the center, and this is going to be where the Hollywood Studios line is going to be. So you can kind of see it's pointing in a different direction. It runs basically east and west. The rest of the gondola system is running north and south right now. So you're going to head over to the west, over to Hollywood Studios. Again, same principle. You're going to be coming in. That cable is going to be moving at a certain speed. The gondola is clamped to it. It's going to release. You're going to have the same system in place to where you can load and unload, and you're going to have you know, guests with scooters or wheelchairs that can load and unload in the back. Same principle over here. This is going to move to Disney's Riviera Resort and to all the way into Epcot. This side is going to be the longest of all the tracks. This is going to probably be a 10 to 12 minute ride. It's going to continue through the Riviera Resort all the way to Disney's Boardwalk Parking Lot. It makes another turn there and heads all the way to Epcot. This is going to be a massive cable because we don't believe that it's going to end. It's not going to have an ending point at the Riviera. The Riviera is basically going to be a turning point. So it's going to be one continuous cable, we believe, all the way to Epcot. So it's going to be a huge, huge system, the longest of all the systems. The shorter one is going to be, you know, heading over to Hollywood Studios and Art of Animation and Pop Century, shorter cable systems. This is going to be the long one over here. The other thing that's happening here is you're going to have all of your storage of the gondolas here. So on the other side, we'll take a look at it, but just quickly, there's going to be a lot of storage on the other side of the building, and we'll get around to that side so we can see more of where that's going to take place. This is something else interesting that I wanted to point out. This is just kind of my own speculation, but right up in front here, they are clearing an area. This is over on the Riviera side of the station. You can see again, there's the Hollywood Studios section, then the Riviera side. So over here, they're clearing a large section. What I'm assuming is that is going to be hopefully a bus stop area. They are building some walkways over in front of Jamaica that will give you access over to the Skyliner Station here. But as far as getting in and out of here, as far as pedestrian traffic, it's not really located in a great spot. It's all the way by the front entrance. It's not easy to walk to. You basically have the rest of the resort that heads down that way. So if you're coming from, say, Martinique or Old Port Royal, you would have to walk an awfully long way just to get over to the gondola system here. So what I'm hoping is that this is going to be another bus stop in the chain of bus stops here. It's not a guarantee, but that's my speculation. That's kind of what they're clearing up here. That's what I'm hoping. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. So we can just kind of get a good glimpse of the Hollywood Studios section in here. You can kind of see where the wheels and the loading and unloading will be inside there. And again, that goes in a totally opposite direction over to Hollywood Studios. Okay, so here we are on the north side of the Caribbean Beach Station, and this is the side that actually faces the Caribbean Beach. And right here we have the side that would also head to the Riviera Resort. And we can get a good look inside there. Is where the wheels, where the bull wheel is, where the wheel section is. So this is where you're going to enter and exit heading over to the Riviera Resort. Right above us, we have one of the massive towers that they built here. So you're going to be coming from your gondola, you're going to head into that station. Again, you're going to be moving at a certain speed. When you hit the station, that clamp is going to release, those wheels are going to bring you around. You're going to exit, or you're going to enter. You're going to make the turn, and you're going to come back out and head straight up onto that tower and down through the Caribbean Beach, where there's other towers located, heading towards the Riviera Resort. So now we have the rest of this massive building over here, and this is going to be utilized mainly for storage and maintenance of the gondolas. You have an outside storage area here, so all of these poles, this huge area over here, there's actually two sides, are going to be gondola storage. Now there's going to be probably a few different things. They'll probably store them at night. They'll probably store them for maintenance. There is some talk that they could be solar, so you could have solar panels on the gondolas, so they may periodically bring them off to park over here to become solar charged. The maintenance is going to happen inside of the building primarily. So as the gondolas come in, they can be removed. They can be moved on another track and pulled out to store. Now, some other things that could occur here, and this is just speculation, is you may have some ticketing in here. So you could possibly purchase tickets in here to get over to Hollywood Studios, maybe to Epcot. Maybe some security in here as well, to try to alleviate some of the security and lines over at the parks. You could possibly do some of that transferring here into security, get cleared, and then just head into the park. You can maybe buy some tickets here. That's, again, just speculation. That's not for sure, but they do have a massive amount of space to work with here. A lot of it is going to be storage, yes, but you might be able to do some other things as well. Now this is kind of cool, guys, because as I'm looking up in the sky here, they're actually doing some skywriting, and they're making a little happy face above Disney World. How cool is that?
Okay, so here we are at Disney's Riviera Resort that is currently under construction. Behind me is the Skyliner Station that we're going to take a look at. It's an interesting station. It's going to be a turnstile as well as a loading and unloading station. So let's go take a good look at it and we'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay, we have a really great shot of the Skyliner Station with the backdrop of Disney's Riviera behind us. It is currently under construction. It's going to be a massive DVC resort. The Skyliner Station here is kind of an interesting one because you have the entrance and the exit coming from the Caribbean Beach Resort. Then you also have the entrance and exit coming from Epcot. In the center, you have what's going to be most likely your turn. So you're going to have your loading and unloading just like you normally would as you're coming from Caribbean Beach. Again, that's going to, you know, unclamp the gondola. The wheels are going to bring it around, and you are going to be able to load and unload. And you're going to exit or enter the same way from the side over here. Now you have two bowl wheels, one on either side. You have a bowl wheel that's in this station here, or this entrance and exit. Then you have another bowl wheel that's on this side as well. Now in the center you have a third bowl wheel, and that's kind of where your 90-degree turn is coming from. And that's what's kind of making us speculate that this is not going to be a separate line. So this is going to be one continual line coming from Caribbean Beach. Remember what I said, this is going to be the longest of all the cabling. Reason being is that normally, you know, the cable would come into from the Caribbean Beach and end here and just do another turn and head back. But since it's going to continue all the way around, it's probably going to be one full line. Now, unless they have some design to where it will release from this cable system, the cable itself will turn back, and the gondola will sort of go around in the center on the wheel and then reclamp over on this side. That's a possibility, but we're not 100% sure. It could be one long cable, it could be separate systems that just join in the center. But there is that center bowl wheel that's going to make the turn, so it could be one continuous ride from Caribbean Beach through the station and then out to Epcot, or coming in the opposite direction. So as I'm standing here, let's kind of talk a little bit about inclement weather. A lot of people have been asking, you know, how is this going to be safe if there's a lightning storm that comes, if there's heavy winds or rains? You know, what's going to be the process? Obviously, we all know that Disney is going to be safe. The Skyliner will be shut down in any sort of inclement weather. You can't be stuck up there in lightning or heavy winds. So the process is going to be fairly simple. The longest of the rides is most likely going to be between Caribbean Beach and Epcot. Obviously, it's going to be the longest of all the treks. So what's going to happen is, as a storm comes in, you're traveling along at a certain speed. Again, from Caribbean Beach over to Epcot, you're probably looking at about 10 to 14 minute trip with the Riviera Station in the center here. So in serious weather, they're going to want to get passengers off as quickly as possible. So as you're coming in, they would just exit you into a station for safety reasons. You would get off the gondola, wait out the storm until they started the gondola system up again. They would probably redirect you to buses or whatever transportation might be available at the time. But that's going to be the process. You're not going to be stuck up there, you know, in these storms. They're going to get you off quickly. The longest you're probably going to have to wait is, you know, if you're just getting on, you're heading to the Riviera, it's a few minutes to where they will get you off here. The longer of the stretch is going to be from the Riviera over to Epcot, which you might be waiting, you know, 7 to 10 minutes at the most, maybe, until you would actually get to Epcot, or vice versa back to Riviera. The other trips are very short. You're looking at, you know, 6, 7, 8 minute trips back and forth between like Hollywood Studios and Pop Century and Art of Animation. But they will exit you as quickly as possible. They want you to be safe, so there's going to be no worries about that. Here's a pretty cool shot as you would be leaving the Riviera Resort. You would jump up onto this tower. You would head over the parking lot here. You're going to head down Buena Vista Drive all the way into the Boardwalk's parking lot, which we will see here momentarily. One other thing I wanted to point out is, with this run, considering the Riviera Station is sort of a turning point between Caribbean and Epcot, Disney is most likely going to leave some gondolas empty in order to accommodate passengers getting on and off here at the Riviera, or they'll just kind of treat it as the monorail system, to where, you know, you would have to find as much space on the gondola as possible. Unknown if you're going to be able to stand on the gondola or not. For safety reasons, there's really been no announcement as far as passenger size, capacity, or if you're going to be able to stand. If you do have a you know, person in a scooter or a wheelchair and you're standing behind them, that might be an option. But as far as just guests standing like on the monorail, we'll have to wait and see. So capacity is going to be sort of a question still up in the air. But there may be empty gondolas, or they may be just looking for space on gondolas as they come through. But again, this is going to be an interesting section right here with the Riviera on how they're going to treat it as far as getting passengers on and off, because it is, again, that turning point between Caribbean and Epcot. Okay, so here we are in the Boardwalk parking lot, and what we have here is basically a 90-degree turn. So you are coming from BVD, which you came from the Riviera Resort. You're going to head down these towers here, And as you're approaching into the Boardwalk Parking Lot, you're going to come into the turnstile. It's going to bring you around on the wheels again, and you are going to exit and head through the Epcot parking lot all the way into the International Gateway at Epcot. Okay, we can see that there are two bull wheels. There's going to be one on either side of the center here. So as you enter, it's going to be the same process. The gondola is going to release. The tires will pull you around slowly. The bull wheels will be pulling the cables. And as you exit, it's going to reclamp and you are going to come up onto the tower on the cable. And again, you're going to be moving down through these towers here. We get a better view down through the parking lot. So we know this is not going to be a station to where you can enter the gondola system or exit. So they have the staircase there, which is primarily probably going to be used for maintenance workers, but in case of an emergency, I'm sure guests will be able to use it as well if there has to be any sort of an evacuation from the gondolas. So let's move on into Epcot now. We're going to head over to the International Gateway.
All right, so here we are at Epcot's International Gateway. As I was walking up, I already see some really cool things happening with the Skyliner Station here. So I'm going to get you turned around. We're going to take a quick look and we will talk about it.
Okay, so here we are. This is the station, the Skyliner Station for the International Gateway. And right away, I am noticing something really, really cool as they are painting the front of this. There are some swans and some beautiful greenery and flowers that they painted on the front. And that gives me a lot of hope that they are going to start painting more of the gondolas, or more of the, maybe the towers and the stations. Now that would be so awesome. I'm really excited about this part. We can see the tower leading in here. It's going to be the same process as the rest of the gondola system. You're going to enter. That's going to unclamp from the cable. The gondola will unclamp as usual. You'll go around. There's a secondary system in here as well for our friends with the scooters and the wheelchairs. So you'll enter, you'll exit. The wheels will bring you around. I'm just really, really excited about the paint on here. I love seeing this right now. In the back, you can see where they're building, where the guests would actually enter and exit from. And then right up front here, this is where the magic happens. This is where the gondolas are coming in and out. And the wheels are there, the bull wheel, everything is here. One thing I do want to point out is how close these gondolas are actually going to be as they cross over the boat dock and into the station. I mean, the gondola is literally going to be right over top of our heads going into this station. It's going to be really, really close, really impressive to see. And as I get closer here now, those are not actually swans up there. Hopefully I can zoom in and you can see it. These are actually the cranes that are here in Florida, these white cranes that we have all over the place. And just beautiful artwork. I can't wait to see the entire station painted, and I'm really hoping that they'll paint the towers. Now that we're talking about the towers, there's been a lot of speculation on whether or not they're going to paint the towers, especially over in the Caribbean beach. They do have sort of this greenish color that they're using here, but through the Caribbean beach itself, they are the gray color towers. We're hoping that they paint some whimsical colors to blend a little more into the Caribbean beach theme over there, but we will see. But the paint on the station over here really gives me some hope. Now you can see how busy it is here at the International Gateway. What I did find out is that they will be expanding security and ticketing over here, because right now there's basically only 2 lines that you can go through to get through security and through ticketing. So they're going to do a lot of expansion here because there's going to be a huge increase in traffic from the boat dock that's behind me with the Skyliner Station. So they're going to expand a lot of this as we go along, which is really a positive thing because they're going to need it. It's really busy here right now, and it's really hard to get through these lines as is. So we are now going to head over to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Hopefully we'll keep our daylight here. The sun is setting on us. So we're going to hop on the Friendship and head over there as quickly as possible and see what we can see. So right now I am on one of the Friendship boats. We're going to head over to Hollywood Studios. But these are the towers coming in from the Boardwalk Parking Lot. And you can see where the gondolas would be coming down, and they would cross over the boat dock here and into that station at International Gateway. Okay, if you've been on this journey with me before, you know that it gets pretty loud in the back of the Friendship boats here. But I'm going to do a little bit of filming as we're leaving Epcot. It's be able to see a good shot of the towers here. I also like to take a look at Ratatouille that's being built behind France. There we go, it's a good shot of the building being built for Ratatouille. Well, this is what I was afraid of. We lost basically all of our daylight. We're heading into Hollywood Studios right now, and it is just too dark to see the station over here. So what I'm going to have to do is come back here in the morning so we can get some better shots, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen over here at Hollywood Studios.
All right, and just like that, it's the next day. We ran out of sunlight last night, but we are going to jump back on the Friendship boat again. We're going to head back over to Hollywood Studios so we can take a look at everything during the day, and we'll talk about it and have some fun on the way.
Okay, now that we're back with some daylight, we're going to get a very nice view of the Boardwalk Parking Lot. This is the turnstile in the Boardwalk Parking Lot, and you can see the towers heading down BVD as well. Now we're getting closer to Hollywood Studios. We can see the new bus stations that are being built. This is going to be really nice. Definitely a better walk than the system that's in place now. It's a temporary bus stop that's used where the charter buses actually would use in the future, and it's quite a long walk to get to the front entrance. So these are all going to be new bus stops built. It'll be a lot closer to the new entrance. You start to see the towers now coming in down the parking lot of Hollywood Studios, and that's going to lead into the Skyliner Station here. But here is the Skyliner Station finally coming into view.
Our last boat to leave this dock will be at 11 o'clock, 1 hour after the port closes. At 8 o'clock will also be our one and only showing of Fantastic. 30 minutes later at 8:30 will be our one and only showing of the Star Wars fireworks.
Okay, so we're here over at Hollywood Studios finally, and looks like we got some cloud cover coming in, so I'm going to try to beat the rain. We're going to take a look at the Skyliner Station over here. We'll get a couple different points of view, try to see the towers, and we'll talk a little bit more about how the Skyliner is going to work over here. So let's get going.
And there's a famous Disney duck. Hello, Mr. Duck. You're going to be in our Skyliner video. You'll be famous. Bye. All right, we'll start over here on the side. You can see the towers coming in from the Caribbean Beach Station, and they'll take you across the parking lot, across Hollywood Studios parking lot. You're going to have an amazing view when you come in. As you're coming in, you're going to get a really cool view of the Tower of Terror, which is in the background there. But here is the station itself. It's going to be a fairly decent sized station. Guests are going to come in to Hollywood Studios. It's going to be the same process. When the gondola enters, that clamp is going to release from the cable. The wheels will bring you around. There'll be a secondary system in place as well for our guests with scooters and wheelchairs. Once you unload, you can just get off and walk right out into the main pathway here, which they are actually going to be extending security and ticketing here. So this is going to change as well. So you won't have to walk as far. You'll be able to get through security, get some tickets fairly quickly. So right now it is a pretty long walk, and I'll show you the walkway from the buses. Right now it's a pretty long walk, but that's all going to change in the near future. Also, it would be pretty cool, like we talked about before, if you could go through security, maybe at the Caribbean Beach, and even get tickets over there. We'll see how that process works. That would really save a lot of time, especially if you're getting off here or at the International Gateway to get security out of the way. But we'll see as we go along. So you can see this is kind of a crazy intersection here. There is the Skyliner Station, another good side angle of it. But right here is the walkway all the way down to where the buses are currently dropping off. It is a very, very long walk down there. It's only temporary. Like I said, they are building those bus stops. But right now they're using the charter buses, which are parked way down there. So you have to walk all the way down and then over here towards the main entrance. Same is true with the parking lot and the trams. Down in this direction is where you would take the trams to the parking lot. So right now Hollywood is in a little bit of disarray, but it is all going to come together very soon. They're actually opening up the new car entranceway, which is going to be in that general direction back there. That's going to happen on November 8th, so that's going to alleviate a lot of the traffic off of Buena Vista Drive. The buses are going to be the only ones using the entrance off of Buena Vista. The new car entrance is going to be off of Osceola. So you can see there's a lot of pedestrian traffic here right now. But again, this will all open up once they get everything in place here, and the Skyliner Station is going to add to that as well. Okay, here's the other side of the Skyliner Station. This is a really good view of it. You can see where the unloading and loading of the passengers is going to be right in this area here. Of course, the main front section is where the gondolas will enter and exit. Guests will come from the park in this direction. They'll head over onto the gondola system and be on their way. Here is the new bus stations. Another view of what's being built over there. You can see how large that area is going to be. There's so many different resorts that come into here. The Skyliner Station is really going to help alleviate some of that bus traffic. And of course you have the boat dock as well that the Epcot resorts come through. One thing that I did not mention about the gondola vehicles, it's still really unclear as far as how many passengers they're going to hold. I'm still guessing probably between 6 and 8, but just by the look of it. I'm also hoping that the seats might fold up for those passengers that require a scooter or a wheelchair. If you've ever been on the Walt Disney bus transportation, the seats do fold up to accommodate wheelchairs. So hopefully that'll be the case in the gondola as well, so you'll be able to fit a full scooter in there with family, and then also have other additional passengers as well. You can see this building here, which is right next to the Skyliner Station. This building is going to be for cast members. Should house the bus cast members as well as the Skyliner cast members, and maybe parking as well, parking attendants, possibly even security, but we'll see. It's a good sized building, so cast members should be happy and have a new home over in that area.
I want to take a second to thank my friend Mike. His YouTube channel is called Cheap Sleeps, and he has been just giving a ton of information about the Disney Skyliner here. A lot of the information I presented to you today came directly from him. He's done a lot of research, and he has a lot of background as far as Skyliner systems and gondola systems go. So thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it, and I will keep passing along all the great information that you provide. So thanks again. Okay, so there you have it. That is the latest Disney Skyliner update. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I really had a great time going around to the different parks, to the different resorts, seeing all the progress, seeing all the changes being made to all the stations. I hope that I was able to answer a lot of your questions. There'll definitely be more information to come, so please join me on future videos. I usually try to do a Skyliner update about once a month. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing here on YouTube. That way you'll be able to see when I do post my videos. We'll have a lot of fun together. You can always catch my live streams as well. Right now I'm going live every Thursday and Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please join me for that. I do a lot of cool resort tours, go through the parks, and just have a lot of fun. I do go live at other times as well, but it's kind of sporadic. You just kind of have to definitely follow me over on Facebook, follow all my social media to be able to see when I go live and have a lot of fun. But I do other videos as well, so I will post here on YouTube. Please also check out passporttotheparks.com. You can find everything there. You can find all kinds of great videos, pictures, articles. I'll definitely do an article about the Skyliner here as well. And we just have a lot of fun over there. You can follow all my social media there. So once again, I do appreciate you being here, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.